Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Miserable behind bars, the shocking decline of Todd Chrisley. The sun rose over the penitentiary's concrete walls with all the warmth of a forgotten flame. Inside the fortress of metal bars and unforgiving silence, Todd Chrisley, once the charismatic, sharply dressed patriarch of the hit reality series Chrisley Knows Best, sat slumped on the edge of his narrow cot, eyes sunken, spirit hollow. It had been more than a year since his incarceration, and the toll it had taken was stark, shocking, and heartbreaking. For a man known for his perfectionism, polished image, and high-maintenance lifestyle, prison was nothing short of a psychological war zone. Gone were the designer suits, the luxury cars, the gourmet meals, and the doting fans. In their place were bland uniforms, iron bunks, unsympathetic guards, and a world where fame meant very little. And Todd, despite his best efforts to stay composed, was falling apart. The fall from grace. It still felt surreal to many how a man who once preached discipline, morality, and family values had been sentenced to serve 12 years in federal prison for bank fraud and tax evasion. His wife, Julie Chrisley, had also received a 7-year sentence, leaving behind a broken family trying to navigate the world without them. Initially, Todd tried to keep his head high. He leaned on his faith, his daily routines, and the hope that the appeal would bring relief. But day by day, that hope began to crumble. The reality of confinement, the metal doors, the strip searches, the threats, the isolation, sank in deeper than any court sentence could ever describe. "He's not the same man anymore," a close friend confided. "It's like the light inside him has gone out." The lonely road within. Todd's mental state had become a growing concern among those closest to him. Letters to his children became less frequent, shorter, and filled with an eerie emptiness. Where he once would write pages laced with advice, humor, and encouragement, his recent messages were vague, sometimes even incoherent. Savannah Chrisley, who had taken on the responsibility of caring for her younger siblings and fighting for her parents' freedom, confessed in a podcast, voice trembling, "My dad is miserable. He tries to sound strong for us, but I can feel it. He's not okay." Inside the prison walls, Todd faced more than just isolation. He was often mocked by other inmates who had seen his reality show, calling him TV dad and taunting his fall from riches to rags. The psychological pressure was immense. As someone who thrived on control and image, being constantly exposed and powerless broke him little by little. "He was crying the last time we spoke," Savannah said, breaking into tears. "He's scared. He's lost weight. He told me he doesn't even recognize himself in the mirror anymore." Health and harassment. Worsening the situation, Todd's health had begun to deteriorate. The prison food, unfamiliar, greasy, and often expired, triggered severe digestive issues. His requests for special dietary accommodations, due to past medical conditions, were often ignored or delayed. At one point, he suffered from a bout of severe dehydration and had to be taken to the infirmary. But even there, he was reportedly treated with cold indifference. Adding to the pain, Todd faced harassment, not just from fellow inmates, but occasionally from staff members who resented his celebrity status. According to inside sources, some guards ridiculed him, telling him he was just another number now, and that his fancy past meant nothing behind those walls. "There's a lot of emotional abuse that doesn't get talked about," a former inmate revealed anonymously. "Famous people have it worse in some cases. They're targeted." Todd had tried to keep his faith alive. He joined a prayer group, led a Bible study, and tried to find meaning in suffering. But with each passing month, his body grew thinner, his letters more bleak, and his voice, once commanding and confident, now shaky and slow when heard over phone calls. Julie's absence and a shattered marriage. Perhaps the most devastating element of Todd's sentence was the separation from his wife Julie. The two had rarely spent a night apart before prison, and now they were in separate federal facilities, barred from seeing or even speaking to each other directly. "He misses Mom more than anything," Savannah said in a recent interview. "He prays for her every day, and I know she does the same for him. But the loneliness is eating at them both." Rumors had begun to circulate about the state of their marriage, whether it could survive the years of separation, the emotional distance, and the shared shame. While Savannah adamantly denied any talk of divorce, she admitted that the toll was undeniable. "They're heartbroken," she said. "They still love each other, but this place, this system, it's designed to break people." Visits that end in tears. Savannah made regular trips to visit her father, sometimes driving for hours with her siblings to spend just 30 minutes in a sterile room surrounded by guards and fluorescent lights. But each visit left her more emotionally wrecked than the last. "He always tries to smile when he sees us," she said. "But it's forced. His hands shake. His eyes don't light up the way they used to." Grayson and Chloe, especially, struggled with the change in their father. For Chloe, seeing her adoptive dad behind glass was confusing and painful. Grayson, once the confident teen athlete, had grown more withdrawn, burdened with adult responsibilities far too early. One particularly brutal visit ended with Todd breaking down in front of his daughter and pleading, "Please get me out of here. I don't belong here. I can't take it anymore." Savannah sobbed all the way home. The fight that remains. Despite the crushing weight of despair, Savannah had refused to give up. She hired a new legal team, started a podcast to keep their story alive, and appeared on multiple talk shows advocating for criminal justice reform and her parents' appeal. But even her determination wasn't enough to reverse the immediate reality. Appeals were slow, red tape was endless, and the justice system, in her words, moves at a snail's pace, while lives fall apart every single day. Still, she clung to the hope that maybe, just maybe, one day, her father would walk out of that prison a free man. Until then, she said, "We'll keep fighting. We owe it to him. But I won't lie. Watching him suffer like this is the worst thing I've ever endured." A man broken. Today, as the world reacts to the shocking news of Todd Chrisley's worsening mental state and his undeniable misery in prison, fans are left heartbroken. Once the face of a seemingly perfect family, Todd is now the face of a broken system. A crumbling man buried under shame, regret, and pain. His story, once filled with glamour and laughter, has become a dark cautionary tale of greed, pride, justice, and the raw, ugly truth of confinement.